Is Toby back on the A-team? And who's going to die in the fatal finale? What's up, everyone? It's Angela here to do my Pretty Little Liars 5/11 recap. No one here can love or understand me. After this episode, I have a few more questions, especially regarding the fatal finale, but I was really disappointed in the huge secret that played out. I mean, what do you guys think? Was that dumb? Was that shocking? I don't know. I thought it was pretty damn dumb. But let's get right into this, okay? So the girls are going to the police station to tell Tanner everything they know and come clean, and just as they're about to cross the street, Aria gives a weird look behind them, and Emily notices these TV screens going off with pictures of Allie in the candy striper uniform from when she went to see Hannah in the hospital in season 1. There's also the message that says, we're all in this together, and act normal, bitches. So they obviously realize they can't go and tell Tanner everything like they were planning because no one would believe them. Tanner wouldn't believe that they didn't know Allie was alive. Until they found out later. She would think that they knew she was alive the whole time, which we know isn't the case, but you got 4 liars, so what are you going to think, So we go to the brew, which is up for sale, maybe because they don't like a pedophile working there. I can't say I blame them, but Spencer and Emily are having a coffee break. Spencer is not feeling well because she does not want coffee, and it's really surprising. And Emily brings over treats with, she just got it for the whipped cream, basically. But anyway, Emily is wondering if Allie was behind the all in this together thing, which I found really interesting because Emily has always been on Allie's side. Now she's not. Now the roles are reversed. Emily's not on Allie's side, but Spencer comes to her defense. She says, or it was A making us think it was Allie. What do we think? Who is behind this message? Right now, I am leaning more toward Allie, but, it's Pretty Little Liars. That might change in 30 minutes. Who knows? So Allie is out of town, and she is calling Spencer, who ignores it, and then Emily, who also does the same thing. Her dad's taking her out of town to kind of get away from everything, especially with Cyrus Petrillo still on the loose. And they make a comment about that later in the episode about her being able to leave. Hannah is at Caleb's, and she wakes him up. A bottle falls out, and she tells him that they couldn't say anything to Tanner like they wanted to because A was one step ahead of them. She's really pissed off that Caleb is drinking, and she just storms out. Emily shows up at Ezra's apartment, and she needs to talk to him very urgently, and I was just, okay, what does Emily want, shocker there. And Mike and Mona are back together. Don't know why. Maybe Mona really does like him, but we'll get to that in just a second. So Emily is telling Ezra what happened with Cyrus Petrillo, and she asked him if he knew anything from when Allie was gone because of his book. He says he doesn't have much information from when she was missing, which I immediately screamed at my TV, liar, because I don't trust Ezra. If you've watched any video I've ever made, you will know by now I don't trust Ezra. He knows stuff. Even if he doesn't, even if he says it's a blank spot with all that time that she was missing, he had cameras everywhere. Shauna was back in Rosewood. Shauna knew where Allie was. If he didn't know exactly where she was, he knew who did know. Does that make sense? He knew Shauna knew where Allie was. So I think he's still holding secrets close and not letting anyone know. I'm kind of leaning toward he's bad, but even if you don't think Ezra is bad like I do, you can't deny that he is hiding stuff. He still knows stuff that hasn't come out yet. And I really am anxious for when that will come. So Emily gives him the Allie picture outside the ATM with a guy in camouflage, and she needs his help identifying who it is. He says, thank you for trusting me. And she says, you're the only one that I think might be able to help me with this. I have to trust you. And I was just like, yeah, I don't trust you either, Ezra. I don't blame Emily. She's got to trust you in this situation. Come on now. But maybe that was a sign that Ezra is good. I don't know. Oh, jeez. Ezra just sketches me out, guys. Like, why would he say thank you for trusting me, to get suspicion off of him? Or is he really, like, innocent, but people are still weirded out like I am about him, and no one believes him, and he thinks, oh, hey, Emily's finally on board. I don't know. Oh, God, he's just so freaking sketchy. Anyway, Arya tells Byron that Mike and Mona are a bad idea. Arya has no room to talk because she was sleeping with her teacher. And I think, if you take my approach that Ezra is bad, I promise this is the last time I mention it, they're a bad idea too, okay? Arya's got mental health illness running in her family, and Ezra is just a fucking creep. Bad idea. So you have no room to talk, Arya. The girls are at school, and they're wondering who besides A wants them to stay quiet. This is Hannah's theory, and Hannah thinks it's Allie. And everyone's like, oh, what? It can't be Allie. It's so dark, Hannah. You're so dark. Whatever, okay? Like, I'm thinking it's Allie at this point. Not necessarily A, but behind the camera thing, or the TV screen thing outside the police station, I think that might have been her. I don't know. Or someone that did it on her, or someone that was told to do it by her. Maybe Noel, she's got a lot of stuff on him. I don't know. Hannah wants Spencer's sober coach information, and I was like, yay, because he was so cute. And she tells Hannah that Caleb doesn't need to hear about being sober from a stranger, so that plans are in motion to get Toby to come talk to Caleb. Bromance. Love the bromance. Love it. Paige and Emily are talking about Sydney and swimming again. And Emily wants to talk to Paige because she feels really bad. And obviously, I think she was kind of interested in getting things back together. And Paige says she can't do it tonight because she already has stuff going on. I knew it was a date. Let's get real, people. I mean, it was obviously a date. So it goes to Spencer and I think it's Hannah are in Spencer's room. Melissa has left a note under Spencer's door that says she is leaving, and Spencer will know everything soon, she promises. Peter is driving her to the airport. The frickin' asshat. Like, why does he gotta take her away, huh? Like, just because of the secret we find out, she's gotta go back to London and be with Ren and hide and make creepy babies? I don't know. The girls are talking and about, general secrets. And Arya says, no one tells you things when you want to know, only when they feel like telling it. This is the theme behind Rosewood. No one tells you shit. And if you ask politely, no one's still going to tell you shit. Like, it's going to be hidden until they feel like being like, oh yeah, here's a little clue. Like, it's getting frustrating. More things need to start coming out. I'm not saying spill your whole freaking book, in one episode, because then you wouldn't have a show anymore. But you need to start moving things along. I am so sick of our answer pile being like this thick, and then our question pile being like this thick. You know what I mean? Like, the NAT club still hasn't wrapped. What else do we have? We have who freaking killed Ian? That's just 2 questions. There are loads more that have not been answered, and I'm getting sick of it, to be quite frank. Hannah wants to know why Allie can suddenly leave after A told her not to leave Rosewood. Did she make a deal with someone like she did with Noel? And they want to know what kind of deal she made. That is suspicious. Like, does Allie now know who A is? Why is she able to leave Rosewood all of a sudden? Or maybe she just said, fuck it, I'll deal with A when I get back. Who knows? So Toby and Spencer are at Spencer's house, and Toby is asking, where's your mom and where's your dad? And Spencer's like, oh yeah, well, mom's working on a case and dad's somewhere off getting drunk and fucking things. And he asks where Melissa is, like really nonchalantly, but it kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies. And she's like, oh, I don't know where she is. She named places. She's like, she could be anywhere, at the motor court, whatever. So if Melissa dies, okay? Because we're assuming she's back in England at this point. So her death cam video from last episode now is kind of like, no, not really. She's not really gonna die like everyone thought. But if she dies, Toby's fucking A. I'm calling it right now. If Melissa dies, Toby's A. Because why else would he be so interested in where Melissa is? I mean, that just weirded me out. Is he back on the A team? I don't know. I would really love for him not to be on the A team. But then again, he is going to be a cop. And most cops in Rosewood are freaking corrupt. We got to remember Wilden, Garrett, maybe Officer Yummy / Holbrook. You know, the only cop that I don't think is corrupt is Tanner. She's doing her job. I love her. She wants answers, and she's not like bullying the girls, but she's like being more aggressive because they're playing hardball. She's playing it right back. She ain't playing around anymore. Tucker, be quiet. Tucker, mommy's filming. Shut up. Okay, so Spencer is telling Toby that Caleb looks haunted, and Toby says it's not about the drinking, it's about something else, that he's looked haunted ever since he got back from Ravenswood, which we have a mention of in last night's episode. And I was just like, I think everybody that watched it, that did not watch Ravenswood, is like, why are you wasting like 7 minutes with this storyline and bringing in paranormal shit into Pretty Little Liars? I don't like it. A lot of people are angry about it, but I think it's just for that one little quick moment, you know what I mean? Just kind of like give Ravenswood a little send-off. I don't think they're going to make the paranormal stuff part of every episode. I just think it was a one-time thing. The girls are, besides Spencer, so it's Hannah, Aria, and Emily, are talking to Lieutenant Tanner, who's offered to buy them coffee. And she is reassuring them that they will catch Cyrus Petrillo and telling them to keep, their eyes open. And she gets up to leave and then goes, oh, by the way, who do we think killed Bethany Young? And the girls are like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, you guys haven't talked about it? She was murdered. The night that you guys were like 30 yards away from her or whatever, 30 feet, I don't remember the measurement. But anyway, she was like, I think it was 30 yards. She was like, you guys were sleeping 30 yards away. And they said they haven't talked about it. And she goes, oh, well, girls today are so different than back in my time. Bullshit. You know that they've talked about it. They know that they've talked about it. We all know they are liars. I think they really need to tell Tanner stuff. Like, maybe if it's not everything, because if they don't tell her anything, their word is going to be shot when something does happen and they absolutely have to tell her something, that she's not going to believe them anymore. Like, this is just getting ridiculous. I know you can't tell her everything, but tell her something. Like, tell her a little stuff that makes her ears perk up a little more, Like, when they had Dr. Sullivan, I think it was back in season 2, I want to say, and, all the parents were convinced that the girls should go see Dr. Sullivan at Peter's bequest. They were so close to telling her stuff. I don't remember if they did or not because I haven't gotten that far in my rewatch yet. But, they just need to open up to somebody. And it needs to be a person it needs to be a person of authority. That's just what I think. This is just getting ridiculous. Okay, so I gotta really speed this up. Sorry. Hannah gets on the phone with Spencer, and Hannah is telling her that Lieutenant Tanner now thinks that they killed Bethany Young. Spencer's wanting to know exactly what she means, and she's like, she didn't say it in that many words, but it was pretty obvious. She thinks we did it. Melissa's envelope comes in the mail, and Toby is there on the couch, gets the envelope, and tells Spencer he'll leave her alone for a few minutes so she can watch it. And the video finally comes out. I didn't think it was going to come out this soon. I thought that they were going to hold it close to the chest for a while, but it finally comes out. Melissa tells Spencer that she is going back to England, and she's going to tell her the truth. She saw Spencer on the night that Allie was murdered / disappeared. And heard them arguing and saw Spencer with the shovel. Melissa sees the body in a canary yellow top like Allie was wearing on the night that she disappeared. She thinks it's Allie. She does not look at her face, and she pushes who we now know was Bethany Young into the grave alive and covers her up. She thought she was protecting Spencer, and that's why she did it. She didn't want anybody to know. That just pissed me off. Like, we're not morons. We can put two and two together. You know, we saw Melissa's clothes. We obviously know that she was there that night. And it's just, 2 and 2 equals 4 here. You know, if you didn't pick up on that, I mean, you could have if you thought about it, okay? Which makes me nervous. If this was Melissa's big secret, what are they going to do with A? Are they going to go the obvious route once again? That would really, really irritate me. I'm sorry, it would. Like, oh, it's Allie. Allie's A. Or her twin sister. No. Y'all's Pretty Little Liar viewers are way smarter than the show gave them credit for last night, I think. And I'm really glad they didn't drag that out. Because if they would have drug it out any longer, I would have really, really been pissed off. You know, I'm glad that was closed. So Spencer, Hannah, Toby are going to meet Caleb at the Apple Rose Grill. And they are talking about how best to confront him. And Toby just kind of jumps right into it when Caleb walks in. And Caleb asks who died and made him Oprah. Love the bromance. Paige is all dressed up and runs into Emily at the brew. She's going on a date. I know this, and we later find this out. And Byron, Mike, Mona, and Aria all go to the movies together. It was supposed to be Ella, but she canceled at the last minute, so Mona went. They are going to see Strangers on a Train. This is another Hitchcock reference, and some people think it refers to Ren. I really don't know Strangers on a Train. I didn't Google it today. I had class, so if you know like who this could tie into, let me know. When the picture first came on and it said Miriam, I thought it said Marion, like Marion Kavanaugh, and I thought somebody might have like been asked to kill Marion Kavanaugh. That was just what I thought, but now that I know that it was a woman named Miriam and not Marion, that kind of shoots that down in the ass, huh? Paige comes in with a blonde that we have never seen before, and they're all like dressed up and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's a typical movie theater. So Spencer and Hannah are talking about not wanting to let people down. That's why they hold out secrets, and they can't look them in the eye and say what they feel. And Caleb and Toby are talking about Ravenswood, and Toby wants to know what Caleb is so afraid of. Caleb tells him he is crossing a very serious line. And Toby wants Caleb to say what he's scared of out loud, but Caleb storms out. Just crazy. Sorry. I think they just pushed him a little too hard, you know, but he finally opens up about Ravenswood at the end of the episode to Hannah, and all the paranormal shit goes down. Okay, so they're back to Aria and Mona and her family fun outing at the dressed up movie theater. Aria leans over and whispers something to Mona, and Mona gets all, "You'll have to excuse me," and like runs off. And what the hell does she say? You know, like, is this never going to be answered either? I mean, I know it was little, but still. Toby wants to know what was in the envelope. He's pressing Spencer about it. Again, being creepy this episode and nosy. And I know you're going to be a cop buddy, but come on. Like, this whole Toby and Spencer being honest with each other thing, okay, that's all well and good. But I know they're working on it, but at the same time, it made me see him very suspiciously last night. It just, like, why are you pressing her? You know she's going to tell you the truth. Like, why keep pushing it? Spencer thinks it was the truth. She's just not sure what to do with it. So we go to Emily and Ezra, who are talking about the picture of Cyrus Petrillo, as we find out in this scene. And Allison, outside the ATM, was taken 16 months ago. And Ezra tells him that Cyrus Petrillo is also known as Cyrus Hart, Robert Hart, and Cy Enfield, and he has a bunch of petty criminal charges. They also say that Allie has a special gift of knowing what people want and how to like give it to them. And Ezra says it's very dangerous. I agree. Allie is a like manipulator to the nines, and she obviously knows what she's doing, and it's what I think it's what landed her in this predicament. You know what I mean? Like pushing too many buttons, and now she's in all this hot water. So we go back to the movie theater, and Arya goes to check on Mona, who's like sobbing in the bathroom, and she says that she knows right where to put the knife and right where to twist it, and that Allie has underestimated Arya. It made it sound like, the way Mona said it, like, you know, you're right, your dad has every right to hate me, made it sound like, you know, Arya said, like, oh, my dad will never love you, or something along those lines, something like really, really petty, but we don't know what she says. So, Mona says that Mike deserves someone who's nice, which she's not, and that maybe she should have died when she ran off the cliff, and Arya's like, don't you ever say that, ever. She tells Arya that Allie will come after the four liars after she's done with Mona, because Allie can't trust them after Cyrus and after what happened in New York. Arya asks her, well, what do you mean what happened in New York? And Mona says, I know things and other things I can guess on. We never found that out. Instead, Mona asks if Mike really does like her. That was so weird. Like, is Mona to be believed now? I mean, maybe she just wants approval, you know? Like, maybe she really is good, and she felt bad about how she treated Mike in the beginning, but now it's just like it's working out, and she's nervous. We know from this scene that Mona built an army to protect herself, okay? But Allie came back and offered them, like, candy and stuff like that, you know, and they kind of turned their backs on her. So Mona's army has dissolved for the moment, from what I gathered from this. This scene also made it seem that Mona will be the one to die next week in Fatal Finale. What do you guys think? Do you think it's Melissa? Do you think it's Mona? Do you think it's somebody we haven't even thought of yet? Her saying I should have died when I ran off the cliff really made it like, wow. And then the title of this episode, No One Here Can Love or Understand Me, it was kind of like, from the promo of Fatal Finale, it looks like Holbrook is saying it's a homicide, whoever dies, but the title of this episode kind of sounded like a little suicidal, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I think Mona might die, but we'll get to that a little bit later. I really gotta hurry up. I'm so sorry, y'all. So anyway, that's done. Okay, Spencer is watching the Melissa tape over and over and over and over and over and over and talking to her sister. There we go. Arya tells Byron that they had a long talk in the powder room, him and Mona, when Mike is taking her home after the movie. Okay. Goes to Hannah at Caleb's cabin, and Caleb is running, I guess, and Caleb says it was a mistake coming back. Hannah says he can't take care of himself, and she'll fight for him, but they have to trust each other, or he really shouldn't be back. So he is going to finally open up to her about Ravenswood in a few minutes. Tanner and Byron are talking. This town ranks surprisingly low on curiosity, is something that Tanner said, and I chuckled. Arya is hiding behind the bookcase, wall, whatever. She's hiding out of sight. Tanner probably knows she's there. Tanner points out that if a case gets harder, someone smart is behind complicating it. Well, duh, fucking A, and everybody else, all the other liars, they're all smart. You know, even if A isn't a liar, A is obviously very intelligent to be doing what they do, but all of the girls are smart. They've had so much practice in covering their ass that they kind of have to think on the quick. Tanner wants to talk to one of the girls tomorrow. She tells Byron that one of the girls is wanting to talk to her, and Byron immediately wants to know who it is. So Byron looks suspicious now, like everybody looks suspicious, I guess. Arya is listening in the background, and the girls beside Hannah are over at Spencer's house, and they want to know who will talk. They all think it's Allie, and then Spencer says, I have to show you guys something. She's obviously going to show them the tape. Caleb and Hannah are in the cabin, and Caleb is telling her about Rosewood, the Great Ascendancy, and all these fireflies. I didn't fucking watch Rosewood, so this was a waste of time to me. I was like, you could be prepping us for Fatal Finale. Like, you could be setting up the death scene. You could be doing anything else. Officer Yummy could be getting out of his car as we speak and, like, be shirtless with, you know, fucking Noel Khan. Toby in there. Yeah, some Toby. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, that was just really pointless to me. He says he's not the same person. Caleb says that Ouija is real while they're promoting the movie that looked freaking cool / scary. I don't know. I don't like things that pop, but I might give it a try. He said there's a whole other world right past the corner of our eye. Okay, paranormal shit is over. Please, please, please don't let it go on past this episode. He can sleep at night. He's just afraid of his dreams and Miranda coming to tell him that he's not okay. So Hannah says she's not the same person either. They kiss and the Ouija board points to like goodbye. And Hannah tells him, you know, oh, we'll get through this. I didn't come this far not to have a happy ending. Okay, Hannah. Aggressive much? So the goodbye, I think, was Miranda telling Caleb goodbye from, you know, stuff I've researched, I guess. Spencer is showing the girls the tape, and they figure out that they think that it was always someone's idea that Bethany would take Allie's place. Emily says something about, you know, the Candy Striper outfit, I think, being A. And then the girls are like, what? And she's like, oh, Allie. They're like, no, you said A. I was like, And she was like, no, I said Allie. And that goes on for a minute. I was like, why drag that out, you know? But Emily's thinking that Allie is A at this point. And then at the very end of the episode, we see the fireflies outside of Caleb's cabin. Was there somebody watching, or was it just like fireflies? Because I thought I heard like twig snapping and stuff like that. I wasn't sure. Anyway, oh crap. Okay. Fatal Finale next week looks off the chain amazing. So, a really quick theory that I had from last night's episode. Was Bethany Young the target? I don't think she was the target. I think Allie was the target, and I think whoever hit Bethany Young, because remember, Melissa was actually technically the one that killed Bethany Young, but whoever hit Bethany Young left her out in the open. They didn't cover their ass. Like, why not? Because she wasn't the actual target. Allie was. We also know that Cece was also in the Canary Yellow Top that night. Okay, so we had Allie, Cece, and Bethany Young all dressed the same, all looking alike in one night. I think Allie asked Cece to dress like her so she could figure out who A was. And I think Mrs. De Laurentiis gave Bethany the clothes and maybe gave her a way out of Radley. I don't know. I think Mrs. D knew that Bethany would look like Allie that night. I think Cece was Allie's insurance to keep her safe, and Bethany was Mrs. D's. I think Mrs. D knew, because now she's dead, who A was, and the fact that she was covering up for them, I don't think it was Jason now, but I think it was somebody more powerful that she really couldn't say shit about, you know what I mean? And now she's dead, so we can't find out. Next week's episode looks off the chain, amazing. I cannot wait. I think it's Mona that's gonna die. I'm really trying to talk fast. I'm sorry, it's really long. Didn't mean to go this long, guys. When it shows this is all your fault text, it's Hannah, Arya, and Emily. No Spencer around. Somebody gets arrested. So can we assume this is Spencer? Why would Spencer get arrested if who dies is Mona? That does not make any sense to me whatsoever. But obviously when they got the text, Hannah's the only one crying, so it makes me assume that Mona is the one that dies. I don't know why Spencer would be arrested. Maybe they're editing it really, really good, which they probably are. So is it going to be Spencer getting arrested? Is it going to be an arrest for the murder that happens next week in the finale? Or is the whole Shauna thing going to finally catch up to Arya, and is Arya going to be arrested? You know, could Lieutenant Tanner finally figure out that Arya was the one that killed Shauna and arrest her for that? Holbrook is back. Y'all know how I feel about him. I love him. Hopefully Nohan will be there. If Noel is the one that dies, I'm going to need somebody to come pull me out of a hole in the ground. I'm just saying. I don't think he's going to die. I think it's going to be Mona. And if, like I said, if it's Melissa, fucking Toby is a little suspicious asshole. Not really, I like Toby, but still, he was really sketchy this episode. So, from the episode 12, like, promotion pictures online, the girls are at Radley. I don't think Emily's there. I think it's just Spencer. No, it's Spencer and Mona are working together. And then Arya's in the background. So I'm thinking whoever dies is going to be toward the end and the arrest will be toward the end. I really think it's going to be, the arrest will be for the murder that happens in Fatal Finale. Is it a murder? I don't know. Officer Yummy declares it a homicide, but it might be a suicide. A might just be working their magic again. I don't think it will be for Shauna's murder. I think it's going to be, a wrongful charge and they'll have to get off. It'll be much easier to get off if it's, they didn't do it. So I don't think they'll be, whoever is arrested will be in jail for very long. Okay, that is it for me. Sorry it's so long again. Like, subscribe, share your theories, and I will see you guys, if not Thursday for PLL Theory Thursday, definitely next Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday afternoon, to discuss the Fatal Finale. Are you guys excited as I am? Let me know what you think down below. You can follow me on Twitter at PLLChick8811. And as always, like, subscribe, share your theories. Like I said, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.